When my younger brother Lucas got out of rehab last fall, he had nowhere to go. Our parents cut ties long ago, and his old friends were just people he used to use with. He showed up at my front door looking like a ghost in denim, thinner, quieter, more tired than I'd ever seen him. And somehow, despite everything he'd done, I let him in. Mia wasn't thrilled. "He stole from you, Aaron?" "Twice." She wasn't wrong. But he was blood. I gave him the basement apartment we just finished last summer. Told him he could stay there until he got back on his feet. "Clean house, clean start," I said. He promised no drinking, no guests, no drama. At first, he stuck to it. Worked shifts at the garage with me. Kept to himself. Even Harley, our golden retriever, warmed up to him. And Mia? She softened too, slowly. She even started leaving him extra food at dinner. By January, I honestly thought we'd made it through the worst. Then last Friday, I came home early from the shop. Mia wasn't upstairs. Harley wasn't barking like he always did. The house was silent. Until I heard music. Coming from the basement. And a voice. Hers. Laughing. I crept down the stairs. And what I saw wasn't a mistake. It was intimacy. Not touch. Not yet. But something deeper. The kind of closeness you don't just fall into. You build it. Secretly. And I'd helped build it. I didn't say anything that night. Didn't slam a door. Didn't ask questions. Just walked upstairs with Harley trailing behind me, tail stiff, like even he sensed something had cracked. Mia came up 20 minutes later. Hair pulled back. Casual. Normal. Too normal. She kissed my cheek like she hadn't been laughing with the man who used to sell stolen pills out of my garage. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded. Because I had to. Later, after she fell asleep, I went to my office. There's a cheap motion-triggered security camera I'd installed last year in the basement stairwell. Mostly to keep an eye on packages and when Lucas had a habit of sneaking out at night. I'd honestly forgotten it was still running. Until now. I pulled up the footage from earlier that evening. 2:47 p.m. Mia descending the stairs. Smiling. 2:48 p.m. Lucas meets her halfway. He touches her arm. She doesn't pull away. They talk. She laughs. He says something. She puts a hand on his chest. Stays there. My heart thudded so loud I could hear it echo through the room. Then, at 2:50, she leans in. Just enough. It wasn't a kiss. But it wasn't not one either. A breath away from betrayal. The kind of space two people don't share unless they've already made the decision, or want to. I watched the whole thing twice. Then deleted the file. Because if I didn't, I knew I'd send it to someone. To her. To him. To anyone just to prove I wasn't crazy. But I wasn't ready. Not yet. Because the worst part wasn't what I saw. It's that I wasn't surprised. The next morning, I told them both the same thing. Got called out of town. 2-day job. Overnight at the Tallahassee site. Mia barely looked up from her coffee. Lucas said, "Need me to cover your shifts?" I shook my head. Already got it handled. Packed a bag with nothing but a couple of shirts. Just enough to sell it. Even booked a motel room an hour out of town, in case anyone got curious. But I didn't leave. Instead, I parked my truck at a rest stop, circled back with a rental, and spent the next day holed up in an Airbnb 10 blocks away. Why? Because hidden in the stairwell, just beneath the camera I'd left visible, I'd installed a new one. Smaller. No red light. Motion activated. Sync to my phone. A test. To see if I was wrong. Or if I'd just been too stupid to notice. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, I was about to give up. Then, at 11:42 p.m., the alert pinged. Motion detected in basement, 11:42 p.m. I opened the app. First static. Then, Mia. Barefoot. Hoodie. descending. Behind her, Lucas. Not even pretending this time. They didn't talk. She walked straight into his arms like it was habit. He pulled her close, like it was his right. This time, there was no almost. They kissed. Deep. Slow. Certain. She reached for his hand, and they disappeared into the basement bedroom. I sat frozen. Not because I didn't believe it, but because they did. Because this wasn't a mistake. This was routine. I came home the next night just after 10 p.m. No announcement. No keys rattling. I parked a block away, walked the back route through the trees, and slipped in through the garage. Harley didn't bark. He just looked up from his bed, tail low, as if he knew this wasn't a normal night. I left the lights off. Sat in the dark kitchen, phone in hand. Watching. 11:11 p.m., motion detected. Same routine. Mia comes down the stairs, this time in his hoodie. Lucas follows, his hand already on her back. I don't move. Not yet. I give them 5 minutes. Then 10. Then I walk. Quiet, slow, down the stairs, one step at a time. The basement door creaks. I don't care. I stand at the threshold of his room. It's slightly open. And I hear it. Not moaning. Not kissing. Talking. Whispers, urgent, raw, real. He doesn't suspect a thing, Mia says. He always thinks the best of people, Lucas replies. That's what makes him easy. She laughs. If we play this right, in 6 months the house is ours. He won't even contest it. My lungs froze. The house. My house. You really think he'll just leave? He'll break. He always breaks when people lie. That's his thing. He shuts down, disappears. I push the door open. They both jumped. Blankets. Shirts. Guilty eyes. But I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at the way Mia's face turned pale, not from shame, but from realization. She wasn't caught cheating. She was caught scheming. I didn't yell. Didn't throw punches. Didn't flip the table or call them what they were. I just looked at her. Then at him. Get out. Lucas started to say something. Some pathetic version of a defense. But I cut him off with a glance. By morning. I walked out. Upstairs. Closed the door. Mia didn't follow. By 6 a.m. I had the paperwork printed. An official notice to vacate, 30 days. No yelling, no drama. Just legal language. I taped it to the basement door. By 7:30, Mia knocked on the office door. You can't do this. This is our home. I didn't look up. It was. Until you tried to steal it with my brother. She froze. Then tried to spin it. We were confused. It wasn't about the house. I have the footage. And the audio. Her mouth opened, then closed. So unless you want that played in front of a court, I suggest you go quietly. By noon, she was gone. Lucas too. But I wasn't done. I called my lawyer, Mark, guy I'd known since college. Told him everything. By the end of the conversation, he was quiet. Aaron, he said, you need to see something. He sent over a court filing. A business loan Mia had taken out in my name 6 months ago. $45,000. Signed electronically. With forged digital signatures, mine. Filed from Lucas's laptop IP address. They hadn't just planned to steal my house. They'd already started. And I had no idea. 2 days after filing the fraud report, I got a knock at the door. Middle of the afternoon. Rain just starting. Harley barked once, but not like he was worried, more like he was curious. I opened it to find a man I'd never seen before. Late 40s. Clean cut. Looked tired in a way that wasn't just physical. You're Aaron, right? I nodded slowly. Mind if I come in? It's about Mia. That name hit different now. Like a warning label. Who are you? Name's Trent. I used to be married to her. The words felt like cold water. He handed me a folder. Inside, photocopies, bank statements, court papers, police reports. I figured she'd try it again. She always does. She charms the stable ones, builds trust, then either drains your accounts or flips your family against you. I just stared. He continued. She told me she was adopted, had no siblings, that her family was dead. Turns out she just didn't want me to know about the mess. Especially your brother. You knew Lucas? He nodded grimly. He's the one who introduced us. I should have seen it then. What happened? She took out a line of credit in my name, then vanished. I filed charges. Nothing stuck. She was too clean on paper. He pointed at the papers in my hand. But if she did it again, with you, now we've got a pattern. You, me, and the third guy. Yeah, there's a third. By Thursday, I had spoken to the third man. Darren. Early 30s. Nurse from Jacksonville. He met Mia through a volunteer group, or so he thought. She told him her name was Elise. Same story. Quick romance. Talks of marriage. He co-signed a car for her. She vanished after 8 months. With the car. And with his mother's bracelet, the only thing he had left of her. We filed affidavits together. Separate victims, same pattern. Mark, my lawyer, was already talking with the detective who agreed to escalate. They're not con artists, he said. They're a con operation. But then, Friday evening, as the storm rolled in, Mia came back. Alone. No Lucas. No fake smiles. Just soaked hair and red eyes. She didn't knock. She just stood on the porch until I opened the door. Aaron, please. Harley growled, low and uncertain. I didn't speak. She handed me a manila envelope. Inside, documents, court files, DNA results, and a letter. You're not going to believe me, she said. But Lucas isn't just your brother. I read the letter. Felt my knees go weak. He's not your half-brother. He's your cousin. Your father's brother's son. But your mom raised him after the accident. She never told you. He's not even an addict anymore. He just plays one. I looked at her. Why tell me now? She swallowed hard. Because he's done this to me, too. I thought I was in control. I thought I was smarter. A tear fell down her cheek. But he's been playing us both. I spent the night reading every page she brought. Birth records. Handwritten notes. A letter from my late mother to Lucas, dated 2 years before I ever knew he existed. I've tried to raise you like one of my own, she wrote. But I fear Aaron will never understand what you really are to us. I'd always wondered why she treated him different. Why she forgave things in him that she'd never tolerate in me. Why she looked tired whenever he called. Now I knew. He was my cousin. Taken in after his parents died in a fire. A fire that, according to Mia's records, might not have been an accident. I confronted her. Why now? Why give me this? She didn't cry. Because if I didn't, he'd win. And I couldn't let that happen again. Again? She looked at the floor. He did this to me once before. Before you. When I was younger. He manipulated me. It took years to realize he wasn't in love with me. He was obsessed with what I represented, a way in. In the end, it was the pattern that condemned him. 3 victims. 1 method. A single goal: eliminate anyone who stood between him and a life he thought he deserved. The police arrested Lucas 2 weeks later. Fraud. Identity theft. Attempted extortion. He pled not guilty. But the evidence sang louder than he ever could. Mia left town after that. We didn't get back together. Too much damage. Too many lies. But there was something human in how it ended. She left me with one final letter. Handwritten. I thought I was conning you. But the only real thing I found in all of this was you. Now, It's just me and Harley. The house is quiet again. Sometimes I wonder if that silence means I've lost everything, or if I finally got my peace back. Maybe both. Maybe that's the price of surviving someone else's game. The end.